Hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I think I should say that to myself too. I'm back. I've been away from my channel for like 4 months or so. I've not been making any videos. So yeah, this is my first video in a few months, and it won't be like a very structured video. It's a something very casual and chatty. So I'll be talking about random things in here. It's more like a, check in. How are you guys? Kind of a video. But yeah, really, how are you guys? I'm fine. Thank you. Anyway, yeah. What should I talk about in this video? Um, since it's booktube, let's start by talking about books. So I won't be talking about all of the books I have read for the past 4 months. Maybe just some of the recent books that I've just finished. In March, I only read one book, aside from the 6 books that I read for the booktube prize, which I'm not going to mention in this video. I will have a separate video for the booktube prize books, hopefully tomorrow. But anyway, one book I finished in March was Rumaan Alam's Leave the World Behind, and this was a buddy read with a friend from Bookstagram named Brian. Well, I just got this book. I got it on discount. Anyway, when I first started this book, right, I found out that the reception to this book were quite divisive. Some people love it, some people really disliked it. And it got me feeling really intrigued in which camp I would find myself in, because usually I would find myself in the middle. But I'm feeling, I was feeling cliquey. I wanted to see where I belong. And I found that I sort of belong to not a fan, but not really like really hate it. So still a bit in the middle. Yeah, but yeah, I didn't really like this book. So yeah, this book is about this white American family who goes for a vacation at a rented house located somewhere far from the city. So this rented house is like a really luxurious, posh kind of house, and so they go there. They go to the house, and they just sort of do their own thing. What they do as a in staycations, shopping, going to the beach, and relaxing or whatever. And then one night, 2 persons come to the house, knocking at the door. 2 black persons, and the fact that they are black is going to be relevant to the story as well. So these 2 individuals, they turn out to be the owners of this rented posh house, and apparently something has happened in New York, and these 2 persons came, they came from New York, running away from that supposedly cataclysmic event that has happened there, and they wanted to take shelter in this house that they own, but they rent to this white family. And so the parents in that white family, they're kind of in an awkward position because they just want to have their vacation. They want to relax and stuff. They want privacy, and suddenly the owners come in and say they want to stay there as well because something has happened in New York. And so yeah, everyone is kind of awkward, and the story just sort of picks up from there. And this book also kind of makes the readers wonder what actually happened in New York that is apparently so cataclysmic and world-ending and horrible that these two persons reacted or do what they do in this book. And apparently, as the novel progresses, we see sort of hints as to what is happening in New York. We see strange things such as strange animal sightings, like plenty of deers. We also learn that the characters hear some strange noises. Also disruptions in power and phone signals, I think Wi-Fi, those things. I feel like I can see what this author is trying to do with this book. I think this author wants to make a story that includes commentaries on racial dynamics, class dynamics, and also family dynamics, all these things, and sort of put all of these themes into a context where the characters have to navigate a situation where they would have to sort of divorce themselves from modernity and things that make the world modern, such as technology, and also wealth and material possessions, and sort of also at the same time put all of those things in the context where nature is something that is starting to become a bigger presence. Anyway, I think I can understand what the author is trying to do, but I feel like the way this book is constructed, it feels like the themes of the various dynamics that the author tries to put into this book just feels a little bit forced into the story. It doesn't feel like those themes are included in the story in a way that they could unfold organically with the story, with the plot. And it feels like other elements are kind of forced into there as well. So as a result, this book feels a bit like a hodgepodge of stuff, of various commentaries, of different kinds of contemplations and musings by different characters. And it just feels kind of awkward to me. Doesn't feel very punchy or emotional. Another thing that I didn't really like is that this book, it sort of dangles this image of this mystery of a catastrophe, that the thing that happens in New York. It gives us hints, what the character sees, the animals, the sounds, and other things that they experiences. But the book doesn't actually tell us what that thing really is. And I find that really unsatisfying. It's like, if you're not going to tell us what's going on, then you don't have to. That way you can just sort of focus more on the things that you want to focus on, for example, the themes that I just mentioned earlier. Make those the bulk of the novel, instead of still trying to bait us with a potential revelation of what really happens in this book. So I find those things to be kind of unsatisfying, and so I didn't really like it. But I do find that this book is really readable. Like, I managed to read it fairly quickly as a sluggish reader. I think I read this within a week, so that is quite fast for my standard. So yeah, maybe you can try this book and see where you land, whether you like it or whether you dislike it. I definitely did not like it. Anyway, that's one book. Another book that I just finished yesterday, wow, is something that I've started since last year, and I've been reading this book for like months. But I like this book. I gave it like 4 out of 5 stars. This is Thomas Hardy's Far from the Madding Crowd. I finally finished this book, and you know, just to mention, I think I have 2 copies of this book for some reason. I forgot that I already owned this copy, and so I bought another copy like 2 years ago. So, you know, I'm gonna talk about multiple copies of books after this. Anyway, back to this. I think I'm going to make a video for this book only, so I'm not going to talk a lot about this one in this video. Basically, Far from the Madding Crowd is about this young woman named Bathsheba who is pursued by 3 different men. The first one is a shepherd, the second one is a rich farmer, and the third one is a soldier who is Casanova-like, very flirty and seductive and plays around a lot. And this book is basically a story of this sort of love triangle where Bathsheba has to sort of navigate her life being pursued by these different men. And the thing is, it's not just her as a character just existing and suddenly these 3 men, these 3 men come after her. She also does certain naughty thing in this book that sort of causes one man to pursue her, one of those men to pursue her. So yeah, so it's not just about the love triangle, but it's also about this character of a young woman who is someone that is very headstrong and independent, but at the same time also very naive, who in certain ways lack judgment, who does things that she shouldn't have really done. But I think this book also does a really good job in exploring how she as a character develops and learns. And another thought about this book also contains details that are kind of, well, they seem tangential, like they would contain details of life in a countryside. The story takes place in a countryside, English countryside in the 19th century, and so those parts can get really slow and draggy, especially when it starts talking about the farming and the workers' interactions among themselves at the farm, and various other things that doesn't really relate to the main drama of Bathsheba and the 3 men. And I find myself bored by that sometimes, but at the same time I feel like I can appreciate the slowness of this book, because those slow parts also sort of, a bit of their slowness kind of bleeds into Bathsheba's main story as well, and that slowness also contributes to a better fleshing out of the characters, which I think it serves this story really well. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about this book. I'll probably have a standalone video for this book because I do have some feelings about this book that I just kind of want to talk about in that video. So anyway, yeah, that's all for this. I kind of like it. So yeah, for the rest of this video is going to be just really random stuff. What has been happening for the past 4 months. Life happened. yeah, in December it wasn't really great. My grandma passed away, so yeah, I've been taking care of her last year since April, so I've been staying with her at home for a few months, but and she passed in December, so there's that. Um, what else? In February, I got my driver's license. Finally, at 30. Um, and yeah, what? Well, I don't have much happening, and also I just started picking up, learning guitar. So yeah, that's kind of exciting. I've been trying to practice every day. I don't think I'm gonna play in front of y'all in this channel. um, yeah, and I just turned 30, so yeah, new decade. Although I feel like I have gotten the body aches one year earlier, so yeah. Anyway, I feel a little bit worried about turning 30, because I've always felt that 30 is old, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are. Anyway, um, yeah, so I feel kind of anxious about it because I don't know what's gonna happen. It's a new decade, and it's a nice number. Yeah, drop your wisdom if you have any. Anyway, yeah, I mentioned multiple books earlier. So I bought some books these past few months, but I'm not going to show you all of those books. But I did make a I would say an unwise purchase, because apparently I just found out that I already have this copy, a copy of this book, Money by Martin Amis. This was the first copy that I had. I really love this vintage 21 editions, but I think I only have like 2 books in this series, because apparently I have already owned most of the books in this series anyway, but not in this design. So, but they look really beautiful. I really like this painted. What do you call this side? This painted side. And they come in different colors, so I really love them. I already own this book, but I forgot that I own this book, so I bought another one. So, I think I prefer this edition, but I think for reading I'm gonna read this one because it's floppier, and I like floppy books. And it kind of reminds me, if I sort of accidentally bought this one, that would indicate that I am still very much interested in reading this book. So maybe this is a sign that I should start reading this one. So yeah, is this a TBR? Yeah, probably I will. I do plan on reading this book this month. Anyway, what else am I gonna say? We have new kittens. Yeah, but they're not around right now, so I guess that's all for this video. I think it's long enough, and I'll see you again in a different one. Hopefully the next one will be the video about my BookTube Prize Octafinals reading experience, and I'll see you in that one. Until then, take care. Thanks for watching. And oh, by the way, something that I just remembered, for the past few months in which I was absent from my own channel, I noticed that I have gained some subscribers, which I think is kind of bizarre because I have not put up new contents, but then I still got some new people on board, so thank you so much. And thank you. I'll see you again. Bye bye.